Hey guys, what's up? It's munclesonkey and welcome to my Skeletal Wyverns guide. In this guide, I'm going to be showing you how to kill them and also how to get some really good Slayer XP and really good charms. Unfortunately, Wyverns are not the best in terms of profit, but in terms of XP, both combat and Slayer XP, as well as all the Crimson charms that you will be getting, this is one of the best mid-tier Slayer tasks that you can possibly get. So Duradel and Kuradel do assign these. Unfortunately, Morvran does not assign them. I kind of wish that he did assign these tasks. But as long as you are using Kuradel before you unlock the Elf Slayer Master, you will be gaining some of these Wyvern tasks. It is a fairly rare task, so don't expect too many of them unless you put them on your prefer list, of course. But when you do get them, you should be doing them unless you are a low level. And if you are, then you might struggle a little bit. But I will go into that when we get to the gear setup. So overall, very good monster to kill for Slayer XP as well as the Crimson charms. So here's the gear setup that I would recommend, and yes, I'm only showing one combat style this time because range and melee are not recommended at Wyverns, and the reason for that is because they are very weak to mage, and also if you want to attack the Wyverns without using a shield, you can use range, but it's really best to use mage if you are doing that. So you do not need a shield to kill Wyverns if you are using mage, because what you can do is you can stand at a far distance and they will not use their icy breath attack if you're standing at the maximum magic using distance. So for your gear, I would recommend subjugation armor, and then if you are someone that does not have access to the soul split curse, you do need a vampirism aura, or you will need a lot of food with you because they will hit fairly hard. I would also recommend praying range if you do not have the soul split ability unlocked. If you do have soul split, you should be completely fine for food because you can soul split back all or pretty much all of the health that you will be losing. If you are a lower level, below level 80 defense or so, make sure that you do bring some extra sharks with you just in case you start getting hit hard, but for the most part, soul split is enough. I also am doing this with a chaotic staff, but if you do have tier 90 mage, feel free to bring it. Staff of light or polypore staff would also work completely fine here, and they are weak to fire spells. I additionally have a bone crusher as well as a demon horn necklace in my inventory because the wyvern bones are not worth a whole lot. So what I'd recommend is to crush them so you can get prayer back, and then you don't even need prayer potions here. If you do not have access to a bone crusher and one of the prayer restore necklaces from dungeoneering, you can just bring extra prayer potions in your inventory as well. Other than that, I have a Steel Titan in my inventory. You can bring any sort of attacking familiar or a War Tortoise or Pack-Yak full of food if you do need that. And I additionally have a Spring Cleaner in my inventory to crush the few metal weapons that they drop and turn them into ores to send them straight to the bank for a slight extra boost of cash. The best way to get to Wyverns is by using a fairy ring, and where you go to kill them is the same dungeon that has frost dragons as well as the ice warriors and ice giants. You might remember this dungeon from doing the Night Sword quest way back when you were a noob. So the fairy ring code to get there is AIQ, and that will take you to Mudskipper Point, which is really close to the dungeon, and there you can go really quickly. If you do want to bank the wyvern bones, I would not recommend it because they're not worth very much money, but if you are really short on cash for some reason, probably the best way to bank them would be by using a Tackle Zo to bank and then run back, and it's not that far of a run, but again, you're really better off if you decide to use a Bone Crusher and a Demon Horn or one of the lower level Dungeoneering necklaces to restore your prayer points as well. I know there's a level 61 that restores 100 prayer points per Dragonbone Berry. That can work out fairly nice as well. So how the wyvern kills go is really simple, and I do see a lot of people using the elemental shields here or dragonfire shields here, and they are completely not needed because, as you can see, if you stand at the maximum distance, and how you do this really easily is you just attack a wyvern that's slightly outside of your range or just run away from it, and then the wyvern will not be able to use his icy breath on you because he can only use that from close distances, and then you're protected against it. You will still be hit by the range attacks, however, and the range attacks can hit fairly hard. So that's one reason if you do not have Soul Split, a Vampirism Aura and Protect from range should be enough to heal you as long as you're doing a decent amount of damage to the Wyverns, which is not hard because they are extremely squishy and very vulnerable to fire spells, so you should just absolutely be able to eat them up. The reason why I'm using air spells is because I have enough accuracy that I do not have to worry about splashing, but if you are using a really low tier weapon, you might want to consider using fire spells, so accuracy is not an issue whatsoever. Of course, I am using a Steel Titan, so that will speed up the kills a little bit, and you can additionally use a Steel Titan or a Nihil or one of those attacking familiars that can boost your damage a little bit if you would like. But again, a Pack-Yak might be the way to go for you if you are finding yourself struggling a little bit when it comes to food. So the main reason why I like these wyverns so much is they do drop 2 Crimson Charms per kill, and you can kill them extremely fast, I found this to be around 400 Crimson Charms per hour if you were able to do this task for an hour, of course, which you are not because Skeletal only assigns up to 90 of them. But if that was the case, you could make around 400 Crimson Charms an hour with at least level 80 Mage that you're using, and that's really, really good. Not quite as good as Water Fiends, but definitely one of the best charm collecting monsters in the entire game, and it is nice to have a break from Water Fiends if you are looking to get some charms to train up your summoning a little bit. So I did not do a task because Morvran does not assign the Skeletal Wyverns, and they're also a very rare task to get from Skeletal. But if I were to do a Skeletal Wyvern task of 90 Wyverns, it would have taken 18 minutes, and the rewards are 47k Slayer XP and 126 Crimson Charms, which is really what you're looking at here. Obviously, the money is not great, as you can tell. 30k worth of rune bolts, and I did not find anything else in the ground even worth picking up. Of course, the Spring Cleaner did crush a couple adamant hatchets, but they're adamant hatchets, not a whole lot to sing the praises of there. Anyway, that's about all for this video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned a little something on how to kill the Skeletal Wyverns. If you have need of any other Slayer guides, feel free to check out the link in the description as well as on this video towards my playlist. I hope to have a guide for every single Slayer task assigned by Skeletal as well as Morvran soon. That's about all from me for this video, so I'll see you next time. Farewell.